What's up, Lunatics? Lune here with Lunatic Reactions, and we are continuing with the Lunario concert. Up next, we have Ugg and The One. Quick recap, if you haven't watched my other videos, well, go watch them. But for the Lunario concert, I recorded my entire reaction in one sitting to the concert, but my audio didn't record for my commentary. So what I'm going to do is I show the live reaction, give a recap of my thoughts, and then I react to the studio version and give my overall thoughts at the end. I'm not going to go into the lyrics because I've said in other videos, I'm going to save that for after I've done all the songs, do a lyric deep dive video. So as I said, up next we have Ugg and The One. So without any further ado, let's just get into it.
It's not real, and what I feel, it's only making me reveal what it will take to make me brave once and for all. excited, don't want to be. Never mind me. Can you explain to me what's this feeling? Love it or hate it, it's never leaving. Want to believe that you feel it too. There is no reason to even doubt it. Please understand that I am not lying. My heart is true. It beats for you. Always staring from afar, fantasizing that something might happen. Always wishing that I was the one, the one, the one. Give me something I can feel. I'm too afraid to ask. What is it I need to change for you to love me back? Is it all in my head, or was it something you said that left my heart exposed? And I know that I'm not the one on your mind, but still, let me be the one. Guarantee that I'll be forgiven, but it's just something that I am willing to do for you. There's nothing left to prove, and I wanna kill all the love that's for you. So only my remains, there's nothing to choose. You look at me, and only me. Always staring from afar, fantasizing that something might happen. Always wishing that I was the one, the one, the one. Give me something I can feel. I'm too afraid to ask. What is it I need to change for you to love me back? Is it all in my head, or was it something you said that left my heart exposed? And I know that I'm not the one on your mind, but still, let me be. Say that you really never hurt and leave me. Say it and it won't come true. Hold me like you really love me. Tell me that you do. Give me something I can feel. I'm too afraid to ask. What is it I need to change for you to love me back? Is it all in my head, or was it something you said that left my heart exposed? And I know that I'm not the one on your mind, but still, I will be the one.
That was my reaction to the live performance of Ugg and the One at the Lunario concert, and Ale, she just kills me with that bass. It's a slow murder throughout this entire concert, and I love every second of it. Those are both great songs with great bass, great, both songs had a very punk vibe to them. I mentioned that in, I think, the first video for this concert, that I'm going to be saying that a lot, that there's a lot of punk vibes to the songs in this concert and on the Queen of the Murder Scene album. The bass is obviously what stood out the most to me. That's just how it is. There was some great bass lines, but also just like both songs, and similar to Crimson Queen, where it was throughout the song just that like playing one note and letting it resonate. These two songs, they both had more complex bass playing parts, but there was also parts where Ale did that again, where just lets those notes play out. So now I'm going to check out the studio versions of Ugg and the One, and I'll give my thoughts on those and my overall rating. So without any further ado, let's get into that.
before. It is something that I have decided, even if my intent is misguided. Don't want to be, never mind me. Can you explain to me what's this feeling? Love it or hate it, it's never leaving. Want to believe that you feel it too. There is no reason to even doubt it. Please understand that I am not lying. My heart is true. It beats for you. Always staring from afar, fantasizing that something might happen. Always wishing that I was the one, the one, the one. Give me something I can feel. I'm too afraid to ask. What is it I need to change for you to love me back? Is it all in my head? Was it something you said? I left my heart exposed, and I know that I'm not the one on your mind, but still, let me be the one. There's no guarantee that he'll be forgiven, but it's just something that I am willing to do for you. There's nothing left to prove, and I wanna kill all the love that's for you, so only mine remains. There's nothing to choose. You look at me, and only me. Always staring from afar, fantasizing that something might happen. Always wishing that I was the one, the one, the one. Give me something I can feel. I'm too afraid to ask. What is it I need to change for you to love me back? Is it all in my head? Was it something you said? I left my heart exposed, and I know that I'm not the one on your mind, but still, let me be. Say that you will really never hurt to leave me. Say it and it will come true. Hold me like you really love me. Tell me that you do. Give me something I can feel. I'm too afraid to ask. What is it I need to change for you to love me back? Is it all in my head? Was it something you said? I left my heart exposed, and I know that I'm not the one on your mind, but still, I will be the one.
So those were the studio versions of Ugh and The One. Before I get into any further thoughts, I had to go back and check because I couldn't remember. Now, with Ugh, in the live performance, they did not have that piano part at the end. And then with The One, it did have the piano in it, but it wasn't as clear. It didn't, I didn't really even notice it during the live performance, as you know, and then when I heard it in the studio version, I was like, oh, okay. That added a really nice element to both songs. As far as studio versus live, I mean, again, I think both have merits. Somebody mentioned in the comments, you know, with the studio version, the soft vocals come through great, and it's really hard to sing soft live. And so in Crimson Queen, in the beginning, in the live version, Danny's, pushing her voice more than on the studio version. Something similar happened here, but live, the energy is great. The bass is just so thunderous, but the bass on the studio versions came through so clean as well. Can't really pick one better than the other. Both are great. I mentioned the punk influence before, and I don't want to harp on that, but listening to Ugg again, I also, was thinking about what other influences they might have, and, they are, I'm assuming just based off the cover that made them famous, they're Metallica fans. I can definitely kind of see, like, the thrash metal influence a little bit in that song, but still, there's a lot of punk vibes that I just love. So as I said, for lyrics, I will be doing that after I've done all the videos for this concert, I will do a lyrical deep dive video. As for my rating, both these songs get a 10 out of 10. They're both awesome. If you've enjoyed this reaction, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more of my reactions to The Warning, check out the playlist. If you want to see more of me, hit that subscribe button. And if you want early access to all of my videos, access to exclusive content, and the ability to make priority requests, sign up for the Patreon. Until next time, I'm Lune. This is Lunatic Reactions. Take care.